Let's look at today the periodic table of elements. And I'm using the NIH periodic table. That's better because you can see, if you see here, you see Fe is iron, the symbol and the name is given. And if you look at here, sulfur S symbol and the name sulfur is given. So you want to be familiar with 1 to 20 elements for any chemistry course. And once you're familiar with this periodic table, how to use it, then switch to your school version or your teacher's version of it, right? So that's a good way to do it. Now let's talk about the valence electrons. I do have so let's say columns. The verticals are the columns. They are also called groups and families. So the family is a good name because they have similar properties shared along the column, the family. So that's why it's better to know that way. Now I do have the description below in detail, and you can subscribe and like if you like these kind of shortcuts, or sometimes I call the chemistry cheats. So the columns can be given the numbers. So I'm going to remove hydrogen and helium because they have 1 valence electron and 2 valence electrons. They both are a little bit like black sheep. They're different. So therefore, we are not going to go to the pattern learning on those two, but we're going to label the rest of it for the columns or the groups. First column, then in my case, I would say lithium, sodium, potassium. That's this group, the family. And then the second one is that one. And then third, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then this is the 8th column except the helium. So what that number means, that means how many valence electrons. Very simple. So we're going to avoid this 10. They're called the transition metals. They are different and they have variable valence. We are not going to deal with that one. Now, once in a while in your school ones, you might see these ones as because there's 10 here, so you might see 13, 14, 15 and so on, but still go with the red numbering. It's easier, right? Now let's do some examples. So if I say potassium, that's K. Potassium is actually K for column. So the K should have 1 valence electron because it's in the first column, right? Let's go to Al, aluminum. So it should be 3 valence electrons. The very important one, carbon, should have 4 valence electrons. It's in the 4th column. Let's go to chlorine. So chlorine is in the 7th column. So this should have 7 valence electrons. That's